What you want?
Get your beautiful black butt cheeks to Century City for a meeting.
I do comedy, sir.
I make room full of people laugh.
I'm Floyd Mooney. Thank you so much.
Yeah, small rooms and small depressing clubs east of the 10, south of Crenshaw. You obviously need a career boost. I happen to be producing a movie with Jamie Foxx. You ought to meet with this director.
I'm making this movie about an African-American attorney.
It's cool. You can say black.
Oh, no, I never say black.
Oh, good, man. Good for you. That was a test, obviously.
You play the old woman. You play the old woman.
Wait, what?
Foxy wants you in the movie, man.
What's up, babe? So what you want to talk about? You know, I just want to talk about this. Just true.
You should totally put a dress on for Jamie Foxx. Hell, I'd take my dress off for Jamie Foxx.
So, what's the problem?
It's the dress, huh? Everybody always tripping on the dress.
Don't you want to be so famous that you transcend color? Obama, Tiger Woods, Will Smith before the Jada shit.
Hey, Mel, don't do nothing set in space or put on a fucking cape. That's just weak.
So I was cursed by it. I believe it was a curse that went with that personally, because nothing went right since then. That's truthful. No one can tell me, hey man, you thinking too much, man. You sit down, man. Everything went wrong. Just like everything went right. Everything went wrong when I put on that dress. I'm telling you, I lived it.
Yeah. Is there any
even with Martin, things went wrong when he did it too, because Martin is very anointed. Martin is a very strong man. And Dave Chappelle said that too. He says things about that too. And something, if you look at Martin's Arsenio Hall interviews, you look at him now, something's changed. You know?
Yeah, well, Martin, I noticed that too.
It's not a shot, but something's changed.
No, he definitely.
But no offers came in movie-wise that I thought would be good for me to do, and that I could. I keep bringing it up, that I could tolerate in my soul. Now, I got offered some parts that I said I can't do that. Even though it's acting, and then it would start messing with your mind. Why would they offer me a part like that so far away? What do you want me to be a woman for when you got black women actresses who are funny in Hollywood, been out there trying to make it, and you want to give me a part like that?
So they try to put you in a dress?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was kind of like, you know, you're going to bite this bullet and then you in. Well, you got the wrong nigga.
Yeah, that's a big conversation with...
I ain't mad at anybody that does it. I'm just telling you about, you interviewing me, right?
Yes, I am.
So,
yeah, it's just a big one. We kind of did a episode on that. Kind of just at a point where we think it's a little played out. Even for the laughter effect of it, it's redundant.
Yeah. I ain't mad nobody did it.
Yeah.
But, you know, so I turned down a few of those. I don't know. A few? That may have been, well, maybe I say a few.
Okay.
Three maybe.
That's still a lot.
Yeah.
For them to kind of try to put that on you.
Yeah. And I think that may have been a sign to the establishment that DC wasn't about it. So it may have cost me career-wise. I don't give a damn.
I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist to a degree. Like when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, all these brothers gotta wear a dress. That's happened to me. I'm doing a movie with Martin.
Yeah.
The movie's going good. So I walk in the trailer. I'm like, man, this must be the wrong trailer because there's a dress in here. They come in. The writer comes in. I think he's the writer. He's like, Dave, listen, we got this hilarious scene where Martin's sneaking out of jail. So he disguises you as a prostitute. And he put this dress on, and what? The prostitute Nah, I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That should have been in the discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats have done it. So, well, if all the greats have done it, it's kind of hacky, right? You're right. So why don't we just not do it? Because I don't feel comfortable wearing a dress. Oh, come on, Dave. Listen, we got it all set up. We're supposed to shoot. Every minute you waste costs this much money. You know, the pressure comes in. Huh. He said, I'm not wearing no dress, man. I'm funnier than a dress. Just give me something funny to say. I don't need to wear no dress to be funny. What am I, Milton Berle? You know, we're going like this. And then finally he's like, and he leaves. And then, like, the director comes, Dave, it really would be great if you wear the dress. What is wrong? What is this, Brokeback Mountain in here? So then, wear the dress. I don't want to wear the dress. I want to wear this dress. You know what I mean? This is, oh, gosh, this guy's so difficult. They leave. Now the producers comes, come on, David, would be so great. I mean, and then I started thinking about it. All the comics that I've seen, man, you know, strong brothers, why are they putting us in these dresses? But the minute it was clear, I was adamant, I'm not wearing a dress. I'm not wearing the dress. All right, fine. Think of something else. Guy comes back 10 minutes later, the whole new scene. Hot damn, how did you write the scene so fast? You know, it's like, so you gotta take a stand.
To gain insight into the current Democrats' view on the Black American, I think it's instructive to look at one of the bastions of liberal power in America today, which is Hollywood. And as Dave Chappelle pointed out on Oprah, he noticed that it seems a large number of black male actors are being cast into roles where they are forced to wear dresses. Now, I believe that this is a sort of humiliation ritual by the powerful and the elite to remind these actors where within the hierarchy they actually stand. So to better understand this strange phenomenon, I want to look more into the nature of humiliation rituals. So I want to read to you an article that was published in Psychology Today by psychiatrist Neil Burton called The Psychology of Humiliation. Embarrassment, shame, guilt, and humiliation all imply the existence of value systems, whereas shame and guilt are primarily the outcome of self-appraisal. Embarrassment and humiliation are primarily the outcome of appraisal by one or several others, even if only in thought or imagination. One important respect in which humiliation differs from embarrassment is that, whereas we bring embarrassment upon ourselves, humiliation is something that is brought upon us by others. Tommy confides to his teacher that he has not done his homework. He feels embarrassment. The teacher reveals this to the whole class. Now, he feels even greater embarrassment. The teacher makes him sit facing in the corner, provoking the laughter of his classmates. This time, he feels humiliation. Had the teacher quietly given Tommy an F, he would have felt not humiliated but offended. Offense is primarily cognitive, to do with clashing beliefs and values, whereas humiliation is much more visceral and existential. Another point of difference between humiliation and embarrassment is that humiliation cuts deeper. Humiliation is traumatic and often hushed up, whereas embarrassment, given enough time, can be sublimed into a humorous anecdote. More fundamentally, humiliation involves abasement of pride and dignity, and with it, loss of status and standing. The Latin root of humiliation is humus, which translates as earth or dirt. We all make certain status claims, however modest they may be. For instance, I am a competent teacher. I am a good mother. or I am a beloved spouse. When we are merely embarrassed, our status claims are not undermined, or if they are easily recovered. But when we are humiliated, our status claims cannot so easily be recovered, because in this case, our very authority to make status claims has been called into question. People who are in the process of being humiliated are usually left stunned and speechless, and more than that, voiceless. When criticizing people, especially people with low self-esteem, we must take care not to attack their authority to make the status claims that they make. In short, humiliation is the public failure of one's status claims. Their private failure amounts not to humiliation, but to painful self-realization. Potentially humiliating episodes ought to be kept as private as possible. Being rejected by a secret love interest may be crushing, but it is not humiliating. Note that humiliation need not be accompanied by shame. People who have been humiliated carry the mark of their humiliation and are thought of and remembered by their humiliation. In a very real sense, they become their humiliation. To humiliate someone is to assert power over him by denying and destroying his status claims. To this day, humiliation remains a common form of punishment, abuse, and oppression. Conversely, the dread of humiliation is a strong deterrent against crime. History has devised many forms of humiliating mob punishments. The last recorded use in England of the pillory dates back to 1830, and of stocks to 1872. Pillories and stocks immobilize victims in an uncomfortable and degrading position, while people gathered excitedly to taunt, tease, and abuse them. Tarring and feathering, used in feudal Europe and its colonies in the early modern period, involved covering victims with hot tar and feathering before parading them on a cart or wooden rail. Ritual humiliation in traditional societies can serve to enforce a particular social order, or, as also with hazing rituals, to emphasize that the group takes precedence over its individual members. In hierarchical societies, the elites go to great lengths to protect and uphold their honor and reputation, while the common orders submit to prescribed degrees of debasement. Because elites live by their honor, and because they embody their people and culture, their humiliation can be especially poignant and emblematic. Humiliation need not involve an act of violence or coercion. A person can be readily humiliated through more passive means, such as being ignored or overlooked, taken for granted, or denied a certain right or privilege. He can also be humiliated by being rejected, abandoned, abused, betrayed, or used as a means to an end, rather than an end in himself. Philosopher Immanuel Kant argued that, by virtue of their free will, human beings are ends in themselves, with a moral dimension that invests them with dignity and the right to receive ethical treatment. To humiliate someone, that is, to treat him as anything less than an end in himself, is thus to deny him of his very humanity. When we are humiliated, we can almost feel our heart shriveling. For many months, sometimes many years, we may be preoccupied or obsessed by our humiliation and its real or imagined agents or perpetrators. We may react with anger, fantasies of revenge, sadism, delinquency, or terrorism, among others. We may also internalize the trauma, leading to fear and anxiety, flashbacks, nightmares, sleeplessness, suspicion and paranoia, social isolation, apathy, depression, and suicidal ideation. Severe humiliation can be seen as a fate worse than death in that it destroys our reputation as well as our life, whereas death merely destroys our life. For this reason, inmates who have suffered severe humiliation are routinely placed on suicide watch. It is in the nature of humiliation that it undermines the victim's ability to defend himself against his aggressor. In any case, anger, violence, and revenge are ineffective responses to humiliation because they do nothing to reverse or repair the damage that has been done. The victim either has to find the strength and self-esteem to come to terms with his humiliation, or, if that proves too difficult, abandon the life that he has built in the hope of starting afresh. And seeing all this, it makes me wonder if this is the humiliation that we see in public. Imagine what is done behind closed doors.
You know, seriously, I mean, I saw a really, interesting statement about, just the popular culture and how they take, how they humiliate these young black artists by getting black males to wear female clothes. There was an interview with Oprah Winfrey that Dave Chappelle had. And he said one day he went into his dressing room and they had a dress on the chair. And the writer came in and said, Dave, we've got a great part for you. We want you to put on this dress. You're going to be a prostitute. Ha ha ha. Isn't that funny, Dave? And he said, I'm not cool with that. Because in the end, whatever you say about Dave Chappelle, he's a Muslim, he's got limits, right, of where he's going to go. And he said, I'm not putting on a dress. And come on, all the greats have done it. And he said, well, then it's hackneyed. Why should I do it if all the greats have done it? And then in this clip, they showed all of these films where they had these really strong black men dressed in dresses, humiliating them. What is that about? Why does Hollywood have to humiliate people? What is that about? All of these people that they really squelch down. They end up drug addicts and meltdowns. They kill themselves. Really, having all these meltdowns. What is that? What kind of culture is that? That's what they do to their most creative people. Drive them to drug addiction and to public meltdowns. That's impoverishment. These are poor people. And if you don't have compassion for poor people, you don't have any compassion. But I'm saying they're all impoverished.